Good evening and welcome to Hangout in the Crib. I am the BP professor and Urf is off reenacting Day After Tomorrow, the movie. So tonight we have Steven, as we often do.
Hey guys.
And sorry. And we've got Medusa.
Hello guys.
And Disturbed One.
He stepped away, so he'll be back in a minute.
Alright. So anyway, tonight we'll mostly be talking about the raid, but some of the other stuff going on in the game too. And unless you guys have anything else you want to say to open up, we'll just hop right over to the slides.
No, we're good.
Alright. So the next raid is called Renegade. But I'll start with some bug fixes. So a few of them fixed a case where ships with remote targeting might have to move closer to a mega hull target to fire on it than other ships. I don't know, never noticed that one.
That's a new one on me.
Yeah. But it's fixed. Corrected an issue where ships with siege or assault deflection could receive less VXP for damage taken than expected. I did notice this on Punisher hulls. I think lots of people did. So it's good this one's fixed. Shards for blueprints will no longer be awarded to players that have already reached the maximum capacity for the full blueprint. Didn't know that was going on, but I guess also good to be fixed. And then the last one here is fixed a bug where the weapons range of a defending ship with countermeasures equipped could be displayed as increased with a road crew attached to the fleet. Not totally sure what was going on there. Almost seems just like a visual bug.
Okay, that's a new one on me too.
Yeah.
So they said they just fixed Punisher Gate.
is Hefe is Punisher Gate the issue where Punishers weren't getting as much VXP?
Yeah, I assume so.
Okay.
Conspiracy with legs.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have elevated it quite to that level of importance. But, you know, people all have their issues, I guess. Alright, also changes. So new mines are going to be starting next week after the raid. We saw the mine preview in the game. They paid out lots of VXP, which was nice. But these new mines, once released, are going to pay out in base parts. We talked about those last week. They can be used to speed up building ship buildings or buildings in your base and turrets. The weapons in those mines dealt out a lot of ballistic and radioactive, a lot of splash damage, so sort of a new thing. And missiles didn't work really well. Mortars didn't work really well because they had these evil Iron Curtain flak guns that really just put a lot of stuff to a dead stop. And then the other thing that's probably worth mentioning that I just saw they posted this morning is Sector Threat isn't being reinstated until the Tuesday release. So it's going to be turned off for the raid, and then it's not getting turned back on until the release time on Tuesday. So there's going to be really no source of uranium, except for maybe Drac bases, until then. So keep an eye out for that. You know, you might not want to do the expensive retrofits. So what do you guys think of the mines?
I loved it. I got my Punishers ranked on the mines at the weekend with Salties 27 plus K a time to, well, that's what I got off them, so happy days for me. I loved them.
Steve, you do any?
No, I didn't. I didn't realize they were out there already. Once again, behind on the curve, but sounds interesting. I love to see when Kickstarter tries to come out with new content that facilitates a need. These seem so interesting for what they can do, just for expediting base changes. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have just sitting there for 10 days with nothing you can do to your base is not the most engaging aspect of the game. So I'm excited for the mines. They're cool.
Yeah, and in fact, they sort of introduced this idea in those town hall meetings that I got invited to, and although we were a little bit skeptical about another new resource, that's exactly what they were trying to do with this, with these base parts, is give players a way to let their bases get caught up. Anybody who's not coining their base heavily, right now doesn't have many level 6 turrets, probably has a few weapons they want to refit, probably don't have all your buildings upgraded when they release some new levels on OP7, right? I haven't done my War Academy yet, or 2 of my warehouses, for example. So that's what base parts is trying to do, is help give players a way to catch up. And although these mines weren't free, they were doable. And I guess we'll just have to see what kind of payout, how much you can earn from doing them. Disturbed, what do you think of the mines?
I enjoyed them. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to coin my Punisher fleet until they finished, but I ranked 1 off of them that I built normally.
Mm-hmm.
But they were actually easier than I thought they were. I was just running a Punisher, 2 Rhinos, and a Frosty, and I was walking all over them. Cool.
Were you getting your missiles through that Iron Curtain with the Rhinos?
Yeah, they were landing pretty well.
Okay. Did you keep them spread out or something like that?
No, they were all grouped up.
Huh. I tried one with my Rhinos and couldn't get anything through. And I mean, they're legendary and had a Harlock Aegis with them, but yeah, I wasn't getting.
Then my Punisher killed the coaxials.
Okay. Yeah, if you can target those and take them out, then all right. Yeah. Did anybody try mortars on them? Any of you guys?
No.
No. I was curious if anybody tried judgments, and I wanted to know if those Murphs were working to get through the flak, but okay. Anything else you want to talk about the mines?
Just in comms, they're saying they found them very easy with Punishers.
Yeah.
So I think there are lots of people getting them ranked, got lots of VXP earned out of them, so all good.
Yep. Yeah, I did 3 of my Punishers as well. Alright, so another change. Build times have been reduced on a few components. So 2 hulls have had their build time reduced. The Crusader has been bumped down to 2 days for the bare hull, and then the Vindicator is bumped down to 12 hours. And then specials, they reduced the time on reflective coating, which is a special that'll come in handy in those mines since they deal out ballistics that you could evade, and then radioactive damage from those fields. And then the armor, again, also useful for the mines. The R and the C armors have had their build time reduced, and that's really interesting. D5R is down to 1 day, and it used to be 1 day, 22 hours. And although the R armor doesn't have the D5R doesn't have the deflection that D5M has, and that D5X is getting, it's still a lot of armor points for not a lot of time. So that's pretty nice. It's the first armor reductions we've seen. What do you think?
I hope they come out with more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be really nice to get more of the armor times reduced. That's I think, especially now with some of the components and weapons being reduced, armor's your real killer.
Definitely.
I mean, I like to see any top-level armor that's not 2.5 fucking days. I mean, fade armor in itself just makes you want to shoot myself in the head every time I put a beast on a damn boat. People in chat have said it's too little or it's dropping in the bucket. Anytime they cut down, that's been the biggest bane for me. It's 2 parts. Is any specials have been ridiculous, and armor in itself is just taking too damn long. So to see any movement and budge, especially on one, as you said, that's great for the mines, this is a positive, people. We should all buck up and be a little bit happy about this.
Yeah, I mean, they cut it by, probably about 30-40%. Like I said, the D5R was a little under 2 days. The D2R, I think, was around 6 hours. So, I mean, it's not, it's not a 50%, it's not a 75% reduction, but it's a reduction. And clearly they're pushing us all to build a fleet for these mines, the C and the R. But it would be nice to see the armor reductions across the board.
Yeah, I've got Grumpy in comms here. Hello, Grumpy. He says, oh yes, and the fact they're doing these changes in bits and bats is, he thinks it's quite silly. But I say it's better than an increase.
Yeah, I sort of agree. It'd be nice to just see it be done with, so we know what we're dealing with in terms of build times.
Yeah, Ross says it's a. Sorry, Ross here says it's a step in the right direction, which I agree with.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on build times? Anything we especially want to see reduced at this point, other than more armors?
Well, the words in my mouth is evade armor, but
yeah.
Maybe the cost on using cadmium, because it's 30,000 uranium every time you want to use cadmium armor. That would be nice. Cut that by 20%.
Yeah. I was talking in the pre-show about refitting a Neptune to try and keep up with those dub punishers, and one of the things that I would do is put all streamlined CAD on it. That's 180,000 uranium. That spending that during the raid is going to leave me a bit low. All right, let's move on from our young lady dressed for going to work in the shipyard and all white and a ill-fitting hard hat.
I love this. The cutout sweaters and give her so much protection when she's welding.
Yeah. She's definitely ready to work in the shipyard.
I think she's going to be grubby by the end of the day.
maybe a little. I tried to pick. I flip back. Just I wanted women who are appropriate. See the miners for the mines. These.
Oh, yeah.
These women, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Apparently, these two out here are from a GE commercial. So there's that. But yeah,
it's got biceps that'll snap you in half. So good on her.
Right. All right. So moving on. I mentioned a town hall a little bit earlier, and just to keep everybody updated, I'll share a little bit more of what was in last week's. We talked about the whip, which had just come out, and the group there was all pretty excited about some of these changes that were described in the whip. Dock auto repair and half repair time. We did ask about some other buildings going on, sort of a similar auto repair outpost and shipyard, where I think the two that we wanted the most, and the answer was not likely on that one. And then also we asked about more VXP specialists, repair specialists, really. Actually, that's probably a better way to put it. And those are on hold while other repair reductions are being done. So there's that. And then the other thing is older hull build time reductions will continue. And we saw that this week with the Crusader and the Vindicator. So It's not, you know.
Doc,
Actually,
go ahead.
well, someone was talking to me privately, and in fact, I think he's in chat now. Hefe was telling me about. He thinks that the Kixeye is trying to sort of reduce and guide our builds to all be in sort of a direction, just to sort of cut down the variety and make it easier for them to sort of test and tune what they're releasing. I don't know if that's the case. You know, we'll talk about the streamlined prize list soon, but it's an interesting theory. What do you think?
If they're going to guide us in that direction, I've always kind of wished they'd give us something, not so much recycling or something you can get. Scrapping a boat just feels dirty. You know what I mean? And to think that I'm going to be killing off MCXs, things that I've built, I've got like 14 of them sitting there. They're never going to get used again in combat. There's just no place in them in this game. They're all level 3 specials and way behind. But when you kill that stuff off, I just always feel like you should get something in return. If they want to guide us all towards the same 10 top builds, 10 holes, give us something, Kixeye.
Yeah, recycling would be nice.
I mean, give me some uranium. Let me say, hey, if it's over, it applies to level of it anyway. If it's over a level 20 ship, give me 10,000 uranium. Something. I'll give an idea instead of just bitching for once.
Yeah, I've recycled some of my older ones now because when I've been refitting and I've run out of resources, well, there you go. Bye-bye MCX.
Wow, you scrap ships for resources?
That's cold.
Yeah, I'm not going to use MCX again, am I?
Yeah. I mean, I have, I think, 500 and some gifts stored up. So if I ever do run low on resources, I think I'll be all right.
That's pretty cool. I think I had 130 was the highest I got it to, and then burned them all through at one point. Before we move off this slide, I do want to say Doc Auto Repair has been on my biggest wish list for the last 3 years. So you see that mentioned in any form or fashion is good up to Kixeye. There's no reason that I should have to wait 3 hours to start repairing the boats that just got killed when I get on.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get my 60 cents a lot, but it still bugs me every time I got to click that button.
Yeah, and I think you know, again, Kixeye talked about it as just something that turns people off from playing. So, you know, they want people to sit down and play, not sit down, see that their dock is smashed, click repair, and leave. So I think that one benefits everybody.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll keep moving through. On to Renegade. So if you remember what the raid was like last time, we are expecting it to be about the same.
Let's switch to bourbon instead of energy drink. Hold on.
Sure. So the patrol ships are going to get Forsaken skins. I think in the video we saw instead of Mastodons and Guardians. Yeah, thank you. Guardians. We're going to see Zoe Rhinos and Citadels, but they're supposed to behave the same.
Yeah.
What's that?
They said the same exact stats, they just look different.
Yeah, that's right. So, and then we'll have those world map targets, A, B, and C sets. You know, three targets in the A set and 5 in the B and the C. Complete a set and earn a bonus. No boss target for a set. And then the one change they made is that there will be co-op allowed in those ABC world map targets. Talk about that on the next slide too.
Nice.
And yeah, you know, I don't know if they're going to be exactly the same as last time, or maybe tweaked a little bit, but expecting them to be pretty close. So, do we have any tips you want to share on those ABC sets while we're talking? I mean, you know, I was thinking countermeasures were really important. The mortar fire got kind of thick, and the missiles could be shot down. They didn't have flak evade, so.
What is your best advice against cold strike rockets? Because that's
Okay.
As we talked about before. That's what made me walk away from the raid. And I want to give it a better shot this time around. Give it more of the old college try.
So there were two ways to go, I think, against the cold snaps. One is a fleet with, you know, a bunch of punishers, right? So you just have the deflection and can just reduce the damage. The other one is that if you're trying to run, you know, your tank, spotter, and then rhino sort of configuration, you spread that tank way out from your rhinos. You know, don't trail them behind, but you gotta kind of have one come in from the left and one and your you know, artillery come in from the right, or something like that, so that you're just not getting your ship splashed.
Are you just not even worrying about throwing an Aegis with your tank and keeping your AoE protection back with your rhinos? Is that the way you were playing it, or are you trying to protect your tank? Because I think what I was doing is I was trying to tuck my Aegis up there with what I was using the tank, and I think it was just spreading the fire down a little too much.
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, I ended up doing mega hulls, but when I tried those, yeah, I think I pretty much gave up on trying to protect my tank with an Aegis.
I think I'll be trying a lot of mega hulls this time around. Definitely see that.
But you guys, any other thoughts on these?
Well, like some of the guys in comms here, we did the 101s only because I found that I was actually wasting a lot of time on and a lot of repair time on these A, B, and C sets. Well, the A sets anyway, and B actually. They were really difficult. I found last raid, and had it not been for the 101s, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. I mean, I did, I think, maybe one or two A sets, and then the rest 101s, and probably the only reason I did the second one is because I wanted to have something wanted to at least know enough that I could write about them.
Yeah, true. Like I said, yeah, did try them, not for me.
Yeah.
I love when our chat answers our own chat's questions. Good job, guys. Good job. We were gonna film it, and you guys took care of yourselves, being self-sufficient. We're over 50 people watching live tonight, so I appreciate you guys coming out. Tell your friends, spread the word. Let's try to get over 100 for the next show.
So, the mega hull will be back, and you know, I just recycled these bullets, so what we don't know is whether those will be exactly the same as last time. So the question is, you know, if we still feel unable to do the A, B, C sets, and I will say that the Punishers I've built in the meantime probably will be a lot better than the fleet I tried last time. So we don't know if the mega hull is going to be the same. Maybe it'll be a little tougher. But you know, for those, I mean, I think most people who had the kind of conventional, call it tank and rhino fleets that we've been using for a long time, I think just about everybody had better luck with the mega hulls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mentioned it earlier in the slides, but there will be sector threats going to be turned off, so you're not going to have a source of uranium through Tuesday. So watch out for that. I'll say it again: ration your uranium if you want to try and keep your your retro lab busy.
Yeah, get as much done as possible before the raid.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been retrofitting like siege cannons and well, I've been retrofitting the stuff on my Punisher fleet, right? So siege cannons, ballistic system, and alloy armor. And alloy's kind of expensive, so I've been doing that now, and then I'll do the siege cannons, which are kind of cheap during the raid. It's my plan.
Okay.
All right. They talked about this priority, and they explained it, and priority, and based on the player, and then it passes to the next player, and blah, blah, blah. And it sounded kind of complicated, but the way to explain it is the player that's been in the target for the longest gets the credit. Okay? So if you go in first and you stay alive throughout, you're going to get the credit for the kill. If your fleet dies or you retreat, then the other player's going to get it. So that's that. Do you want to talk about priority anymore?
Nope.
Okay. I mean, that's how it worked in the mega hulls, right? You could do mega hulls for people and give them that 1.5 million bonus. That was a great way to help players last raid. Yep. In fact, because I'd do a mega hull, right? I'd get them 1.5 million, and they'd get 1.5 million. But you just had to get them in there first. All right.
Yep.
I recycled this slide from last time, but I did change the title. Anyway, so just remember these pink flag buildings boost the damage resistance of the turrets on that platform. So if you can kill those first, it really helps. Anything else you want to say?
No. Well. Nope. Sorry.
It's all right.
Megas.
And then the Mega Hall. So again, this is also recycled. We don't know if it'll be the same. Now this picture actually is kind of interesting. This came out before the raid. And so, these red triangles are where the splash missiles hit. But on the actual Mega Hall, it didn't look like this, right? There was a big safe zone all around the hall when you got close, and there were lanes, safe lanes, that led up to each of the power platforms. So you could enter and exit, and enter and exit, and enter and exit to take out each of the 4 platforms. I did post, a strategy guide on the blog with some screenshots. If you didn't see that or didn't know how people were taking the mega hulls last time. But I do recommend that if you're unsure. Anything else on the mega hulls?
No.
It's going to be in short supply. There's going to be lots of fights.
Yeah.
Don't go set the world on fire trying to battle over mega hulls, guys. There will be enough throughout this event.
Yeah, actually that was something that I was pleased about last event, is they did respawn pretty quickly. So that was good. They only spawned around the dubs, but they respawned quick. Okay. So we're talking about the new prizes. The Centurion hull. Those of us who are in the public preview server for the mines got a chance to try this out. It's a fast hull with siege deflection. It's really, really, really built to take on these new mine targets. It's got 50% ballistic, 50% radioactive defense, but no penetrative, no explosive defense. So even in a dub, dubs have a lot of explosive damage. It does have a really high fire field resistance, which also applies to the ice fields. So again, those ice fields in the mines were doing a lot of damage. This thing will resist that ice damage. And then it's got this 20% splash reduction aura, and that stacks multiplicatively. So actually, it's like a 20% splash resistance is a good way to talk about it. You know, if you have 5 of these all stacked up, it's like a 67% splash resist, not 100%.
Yeah. LFA made a good point there. I don't see unreactive anywhere in the stats.
Yeah, it does not have unreactive. And you know, if you've got bad evade, those cryo launchers in the mines could build up and pop off a shockwave on you. So that's a great point. It's 15 million points, which is increased. You know, we've seen a lot of top prize hulls be 12.5. You know, the build time is I think about appropriate for its capability, but I don't know about this point that it costs. Right?
Mm.
Yeah, I thought it was rather high.
Yeah, why has it gone up?
All right. So I just put up a little chart. I won't talk through all these numbers, but I think the big thing to look at is on the offense. You know, you compare the Centurion to the Punisher. It's got less of a reload bonus, less of a damage bonus. I mean, really, it also loses out to the Crusader. So, you know, that splash field is nice. It's got good defense, but I'm a little worried about offense on this hull. On the preview server, I ran my Punishers through the mines, and they did about as well as the Centurion fleet. So, you know, if you've been building Punishers, it's not like throw them away and start over.
Yeah, less siege deflection than the Punisher as well.
Yep. Still pretty good, but a little less.
Seeing this did make me feel better. I will have to admit, I was a little bit peeved to hear another ballistic hull was coming out while I was still building Punishers. You know, like Kickseye, what you doing? But looking at the stats, which is the better, would you say? I'm looking at the Punisher.
I mean, the armor is the only thing that I can see that's really a big change there, but.
Well, like I said, you know, the Centurion did about as well in the mines as the Punisher, but the Punisher is going to do better everywhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to take a Centurion into bases. 0 assault deflection, 0 penetrative defense, 0 explosive defense.
Shitty evade.
You know, I mean, what part of a player's base defense is not going to hurt a Centurion?
I think the defense is a huge. I mean, Chad's hitting on the head there. Those defensive stats are so anemic. I'm not going to worry about getting this.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the new weapon, load up on some tokens, a bunch of limiteds, and rock and roll.
Yeah, that I think is probably a good strategy that a lot of players are gonna go for. I don't see what makes this hull worth the price increase even.
It's still going to be a good hull for those that didn't get the Punisher, though.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So I find that a lot of people are fitting Earthshakers to the Punisher. What do you reckon? Would the new ballistic weapon be a good one to stick on the Punishers?
Maybe. Let's talk about the new ballistic weapon. That's a great transition. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great segue. He says Earthshakers go on quickly. Hopefully they'll come off quickly as well.
Well, all right. So let's look at this new particle accelerator cannon. It's got really high building damage. It's got the 50 range, so it does have better range than the Earthshaker. It does not give you the speed bonus. and it is a little heavier. It's got the same splash, and then it's got this particle blast, which I'll tell you what, it's really cool, and it really messes up buildings. I mean, 100,000 damage.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah. So I don't know though. I mean, again, I was able to run my Earthshaker Punishers in the preview, and you know, I don't feel like they were losing out that much. I ran this chart, which does the fleet damage. Okay. So damage per weight is on the y-axis here. Range is over here. So the particle accelerator is this spot right here. Its damage per ton is about half of what the Earthshaker is. Here's the Earthshaker over here, right? It's got the longer range, and the spot size is proportional to the DPS, so that's not weight adjusted. So in terms of damage per gun, it's actually about the same against fleets. Okay, but your railguns do a lot better against fleets. Now, since I have all these charts set up for fleets, I did not have time to run building DPS charts, and I apologize for that, especially because that's what we all care about for these weapons right now. You know, we're all worrying about the raid with all the turrets and the mines with all their buildings. So I am going to do a little more in depth and show building DPS on the blog. The weirdest thing when I just looked at the numbers is the best performing weapon in terms of building DPS per gun was just a total surprise to me. Does anybody have a guess at what the best performing building DPS, not even DPS per ton, but DPS? Anyone?
No idea, sorry.
No clue.
Reaver Chain Gun 3. Something out of the woods. I'll say something, even though it's probably wrong.
I was thinking that siege cannons or something crazy like that, but yeah, okay.
All right. Well, do say you, sorry, what was that?
Perhaps
Stir?
crossbows?
The actual answer is Siege Cannon X. Siege Cannon X is the building DPS champion. At least I'm going to check my numbers again. Now it's got the short range. It's got a 43 base range, so even with the nuke and that, it's a 82 range. You know, once you get all the boosters on there. But the Siege Cannon X is actually the highest DPS building DPS per gun. It's crazy, and that's a 4-hour build time per gun, by the way, and it's really light. So I thought that was interesting, and I'm going to do a little more in depth on all that and put that on the blog. But that'll take me a few days to put together. So there.
There was one thing I noticed on the previous slide. Did I see it right that there's been a price increase for the cannon? 10 million points. Normally the weapon's 5.5 million, something like that.
Yeah. 10 mil.
Yep, absolutely right, and that's definitely a good thing to point out. Is this gun again, which it's pretty good, you know, overall. I mean, it's not junk. But it's on par with other weapons that you could choose, I would say. And yeah, they really jacked up the price. You know, the Judgment Mortar last month was 9 million. They reduced the price a little bit this month, but yeah, the raid prices have been going up, and that's just an interesting trend to note and keep an eye on.
I see. Difficulty is not going down.
No, it's not. You're absolutely right there. yeah, like you said earlier, if it weren't for those mega hulls, I think I too would have been really reluctant to complete the raid.
They're booing in comms at the price increases.
Or what?
They're booing in comms. Boo 10 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not impressed.
Okay. All right, so let's move on from the canon and talk about the prizes. So, we're going to play a game. You guys want to play a game? And hopefully you didn't memorize the slides too much. So, it's going to be guess which one I recommended on each tier. So, tier 1, what's your guess?
Dreadnought X.
Yep. That's what I'd gone for.
Because it's got a shorter build time also. I think it's like 6 hours now.
Yep. Okay,
Definitely.
I picked Dreadnought X. And the other thing I point out is it's 4 specials instead of 3.
Yeah.
All right, tier 2.
Radiation armor.
Yeah.
I
Anybody
think
else?
Siege Battery.
You go Siege Battery 1?
I've got all of them, but I think the Siege Battery would be good for low-level players trying to do the Forsaken mission.
Okay. All right. I picked D5R. I'm kind of looking at the higher level Siege batteries, but I see where you're going with that. All right, tier 3.
Oh, now you're getting tough. I'm gonna go with reflective coating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's got the evade and the radiation defense.
Medusa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing, yeah.
All right, tier 4. This is a tough one.
This is tough, man. You're like pulling teeth on this one.
Yeah.
Siege Battery 3 is the shit. If you don't have it, then you're in trouble. You need it. Especially with the turret heavy stuff we have coming. Nuclear accelerators are beasts, though. And, well, you know what? Get both. Let's see.
You can't
my
get both.
There's a new Siege Battery coming out, but that's in the elite tier.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you probably need 3 to get the new elite one. I mean, I know that on any if you don't have it on a tank, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
All right, I picked Siege Battery because Nuke Excels are in the Forsaken mission.
Yep.
Tier 3. All right, next. Nova Storm or Crusader?
Crusader.
Crusader.
Yeah, it's got the build time reduction, and before the increase, I was using them to roll over 65s.
And
They're
we
great for Draconian bases, too.
Yeah, we talked about 2 weeks ago about how slow mortars are, so I'm sticking with Crusaders.
Okay. Tier 6.
I think that effect is going to be worthwhile, even in small doses. So I want to go with the particle accelerator. Even a couple, I think, will be a good change.
Yeah, I'm going to go with it. Ballistics have been more useful than mortars over the lifetime of the game.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And tier 7. Centurion or Citadel?
Citadel. I'm not going to let you get the words out of your mouth on that one. Citadel.
You guys like the Citadel?
Yeah.
But you can
Alright,
do some real cheap shit with the Citadel. I'll put it that way.
All right, I picked the Centurion, but
I don't think you haven't had anyone Citadel camp your base yet.
No.
Oh,
Well, maybe once.
need to watch some of the hits that people have done with them.
Yeah.
There's some nasty videos floating around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one person that tried it was pretty incompetent and got killed.
No, if you do it right, it's ridiculously effective. I mean, I couldn't even be mad. I kind of had to laugh because I was like, "Damn."
Okay.
There goes the
All right.
neighborhood.
All right, I'll take your word for it. So, all right. Well, maybe I called it a game, but I think we're all winners.
Woo!
All right. All right. So, that's okay. Let's talk about the next group, the limited stuff. So, this wasn't even a thing here. So, in terms of the limited stuff, it's all good except for Fallout armor, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yep. I mean, it's all quality stuff. I mean, you need all of it. I feel sad when I ran out of Gale 3s the other day.
Yeah, and we talked about price increases earlier. Gales and Cobras have gone up. Cobras used to be 1.25 mil, and then Gales I think were 250, 500, and 750.
Yep.
So pretty serious price increase on the Gale. But they're really key in the dubs.
Yeah.
Gales are the new hotness. You need them. You need to replace every hailstorm you have with Gales.
Yeah. And then tokens. Tokens have been reduced. You used to be able to get a week's worth of tokens, and now they cut them a little bit, which is just sort of annoying. I don't see the point. Right?
Yeah. I know a lot of people. That's the reason a lot of people did it. I don't know if they're just worried about people getting too much done out of the raid. I don't know. I don't really see a point for getting rid of that. If you're going to swing at a big enough stick that you're getting 7 days worth of tokens, you're probably spending money in other places.
Yeah.
Before we move off this, what else do you like? Cube Drafter has a good point. It said, get your 5 Gale 3s, 5 Gale 2s. What else are you going after next? I personally say Compound.
Yeah, I love D6A. I've been using that a lot.
Compound and Agility System are on all my new builds, pretty much. Cobras are great. If you don't have them, you can start stockpiling them. People like me who didn't get enough of them originally, and I have like 12, and I probably want to get to around 20 and build some Tigers with them. So.
Yeah, Cobras just takes. They're really nice, but they take a long time to build. So, I would think about whether you're ever going to be willing to spend the build time on them. They're just about 2 days each. So those Cobra subs take a long time. So,
they'd probably be
if you're thinking about Cobras
at that point, yeah, I wouldn't naturally build those. I don't think.
Yeah. And then I like the Hydro Resistors.
Mm-hmm.
They're great on heavy cruisers because you can combine them with Ion Thruster.
Only thing that gets you concussive defense.
That's right. And that too.
Hey, Chris, anything? Okay, there.
What?
Sorry. Go ahead,
Disturb.
The Agility System 4s I use a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like them.
Sorry?
I was just going to say still a long build, but yeah, I like them.
Yeah, the Gale defenses, that's an obvious must-have. 2 on my carriers holds off all the mortars in an 85, so...
Okay. Medusa, anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm basically a big fan of the Agility 5 and Compound Armor. I use quite a lot.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think it's on to screw-ups. And I've got a few this week. It's always exciting when you have more than one. So we talked about the first few, the first two, actually, increasing the prices and reducing the build tokens. I think that's just people are generally unhappy about that.
Yeah. I mean, at least they didn't take tokens completely out.
Well, yeah. At least they didn't cut off my other arm.
If the I know apart from the bigger ones, if the A, B, and C sets were easier to do, then perhaps people would be a little bit more happy about the increases, but they are very difficult.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, as we go on a raid cycle, usually the targets get a little harder. Maybe they'll surprise us and make them easier?
No.
No,
I'm not convinced. No, I'm not buying that.
All right. It's just a thought. And then this next one's really interesting. So, battle logs have been wrong for a long time, right? You get names that are kind of like shifted and stuff, and just things kind of look weird in the battle logs. And then on Tuesday's release, they really messed them up. They showed damage percentages to the attacker where it should have shown the defender, and people were like really weirded out by this. And so here's what I find most interesting about this problem that just came out of nowhere. I've hammered KIXEYE before talking about their configuration management, where they just change stuff, and it seems like they don't realize they change stuff. And this smells like another example where they screwed up their configuration management, because maybe they were trying to fix something, maybe they were working on it, but it wasn't in the change notes that they were trying to do anything to the battle logs, right? But yet their release, all of a sudden battle logs change. So, how did this change go out the door that screwed stuff up, and nobody realized it, and nobody, in a sense, authorized it, right? Because if it was authorized and known about, it should have been in the changelog. So I find this a real interesting screw up, and again, a symptom of poor software development practices at KIXEYE. So there.
Yeah, it should be in the release notes.
But apparently that problem is fixed. So, hurrah, or something. And then there's been some other weird stuff I think people have talked about this week. Fleets spontaneously repairing, guard fleets spontaneously disappearing.
Oh, I have a new one. I got a weird one for you guys. So I start a repair that's like 5 hours. Or 3 hours. I get off, come back, finish it. It finishes. I start another repair that's got 16 minutes left. I go to refresh my base, and all of a sudden now it's 3 hours and 16 minutes.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm like, they gave me gold for it, but I'm like, what the bleep and bleep is going on here? Repairs from the past, ghosts of damage, yet to come. Fuck.
That is a weird.
That's definitely strange. I haven't had anything repair, unfortunately.
Yeah, can I get some free repair? Come on,
Yeah.
KIXEYE.
That's a new one on me.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my dub fleet sniped, and it certainly didn't get repaired for free.
Nope.
It'd be nice if mine got repaired for free. It's a 63 gold repair.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fuck.
mine is 52.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't build fleets like that.
Yeah, I'm seriously thinking of removing some of the bulk.
Oh yeah, I'm refitting mine when I get D5X.
Yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward to is D5X. I think that'll be really good in a lot of these new targets. Yep. All right, last slide. Breakthrough. And, my earlier slides showed decent, hardworking women. I just couldn't pull back and had to have a young lady in a bikini sledgehammering a car for our amusement.
So again, no PPE. These girls like to live on the edge, man.
and I'll say, she really was smashing a car with a sledgehammer. This was a screen cap of a video. So, she and one of her friends were just going at it with sledgehammers, and at one point the hammer even flew out of her freaking hands. So they were really living on the edge.
So,
but anyway,
you got something missing off this breakthrough. They brought back public test servers.
Oh, you know what? You're right. That's a really good breakthrough.
I didn't get a chance to be in it, but it seems like 3/4 of the panel did, and they got a good experience out of it. So
I was unable to get in. It was full before it was supposed to even be out.
I would like to say maybe Kicksite should reach out to certain members that do community shows.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
remember that it would be a great experience if we could be in there and speak intelligently on it for the next week. So, hint, hint.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good
Hook a
idea.
brother out, Kicksite.
So well, now hold on a sec, because actually I think you're a little confused. There were two different previews, right? There was the preview server where you could pick up the Centurion and the particle accelerator, and you had 20,000 gold, I think, and so you could build a fleet and run them at the mines. So it was a preview essentially of the new prizes against the mines. It was not a raid preview, and it was not in the game. So that was the one where you did need the password to get on that server. But then they also ran a VXP preview. I think that went Friday to Saturday in the actual game. No password necessary. Apparently, again, somebody should have watched the show even if he wasn't on it, because we talked all about it.
I take 1 week off and the world falls apart. Okay, I understand.
So you could take your own fleets and hit the new mines and see how you like them. And again, got huge VXP. Huge.
I did get out of that.
Yeah, those are pretty fun.
Mm.
And so that's why I'm putting these mines on the breakthrough, because I thought it was just it's a new aspect to the game. It adds some variety, and so they're fun. New kind of fleet. I like it.
Yeah, they were good.
Okay. Well, that is all for the slides. Somehow I'll figure out how to stop screen sharing. There we go. I think.
All right, chat. We're right out of time, but we'll go ahead and give it a little bit longer if anybody's got any questions or anything they want to throw at us. So now's the time to throw it on out there, and we'll see what we can field before we wrap it up. What do you guys think about the prize list, as in how broad it is in its different types? For example, would you like to have seen Earthshakers or any good mortars there added as well?
Earthshakers would have been nice for those that don't have them. Personally, I have everything but the Trident missile and a couple launchers, but for those that missed out on them, Earthshakers are a great cannon to have.
Yeah, I think those should have been in there. I'd like to see some sort of ballistic weapon besides just the particle.
Guys, quick question from Comms. Judge Steele says is OP8 going to be released next week after the raid?
No, that's for the 29th, isn't it?
Yep.
Is that the big update? Right, yeah, there you go. And has anybody, this is from G Daddy, has anybody noticed the times of the repairs not counting down in time correct? I mean, he says 5 seconds is around about 20 seconds time. Okay, so there's a bit of lag there by the sounds of it.
Sounds almost like your problem, Steve.
I've had that in here with base repairs.
I didn't really catch that. I'm sorry. I had some static on it, I guess, on my side. But what you were saying, was it about repair not displaying correctly?
Yeah,
I was counting down too slow.
Yeah. So
It takes like 3 seconds to go down 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's definitely interesting.
You might want to send a ticket into Kickside with that.
Yeah, agreed. I'm trying to catch up with chat myself. We got a lot going on. See, you want some torps with 88 range to do free armadas. Can't do armadas for free with 88 range torps. You'll just trade fire. Need longer range than that. But I do use my torps like that to prep out the dreads from armadas and do them pretty cheap.
Right, I've got another question. I'm not sure what AGL4 is. It's from Cuttlefish. It says, why do you use AGL4 over Reflective 3?
It's talking about agility.
Agility 4.
Oh, Agility 4, yeah, that's it, yeah.
So On the new mines, actually, reflective will be a better choice, because that slow resist from agility doesn't help you in the ice fields.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I think reflective 3 will be better if you're doing a build just for those mines. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends on what you're going to tailor it to. I use agility because I feel like it's more of a broadly applicable special. But if you're building a mine fleet, you're definitely right on that. Right on the head.
Yeah, I mean, 6 months ago, I always used reflective over agility. You know, I was building like my Crusaders and Frostburns. They all had reflective on them. All right, let's see. We've got a question. What asked and answered: free uranium with my Nighthawk subfleet. Somebody said Zombium, and yeah, I know somebody else who does that.
Yeah, and he also asks how can he get his Nighthawks to kill a Proto Hunter. What can you do to get him to do that? I don't think you can.
Pray?
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, zombie them.
Have some rhinos behind him that'll kill him.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to get charged. I mean, zombie rhinos, I guess. Zombie rhinos.
Yeah.
Zombie tigers. Get in there.
Yeah, you know,
That's actually not a bad idea.
If you prep out everything but the hunters, you could probably use some zombie remote targeting ships.
They do hit hard. And 175 basically does. I did 175 today. Kind of just went in like a bull in a china shop. Didn't pre-prep it. Used one medium quick pinch, and it was like 6 hours of repair.
Okay, so you know I've been using a Punisher tank and my rhinos and a Harlock Aegis, and you know if you kind of set them up right, I do 75s with like 5 to 10 minutes repair, depending on how many of the torps I can avoid.
Yeah, this is Frosty, Interceptor, Aegis, and 2 rhinos. So we'll have to look at that off there.
Another question from Grumpy in Comms. He says, if you don't have the Punishers, would you go for the new hull? I would initially say yes.
So how about even over the Citadel, which you guys liked? So let's say you're in that situation.
Citadel.
Punishers. Would you pick Citadel or Centurion?
Citadel.
Yeah?
All day long. Yeah, if you watch what they can do to bases, it's ridiculous. So, this new hull, just for the fact it does not have the correct defensive capability, really pigeonholes it into one thing, which is hitting these dubs. I just don't feel like it's as a utility. You know, it's not as a wide range of what I can do with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you guys think? Anybody else?
Let's see.
Just kind of feel 1 or 2 more questions and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, I appreciate the flow of activity at the end of the show, but try to keep them coming throughout the whole show. And we usually build up a big stockpile here in our internal chat and try to hit them as we go. So just.
Yeah. What do we got? We got another suggestion on the armadas run bait hulls in the lead like the vet frigates to draw fire off your zombie subs. Can certainly do that in armadas.
Can I just say fuck you, Kickside, for putting your raid out the same weekend that the Division comes out? Because I'm going to have no time to do anything else in the world.
Oh.
Yeah, I ordered an IX tracking thing today, so I had to wait for my code. So unlike the rest of the world that was playing at midnight, I got to get off of here with you guys and go start that damn game.
Okay. So now, wait a minute. We got a question from Hefe. I don't quite understand this one.
Contributor, what do you got from him?
High-level player for years, left for about 18 months, wants to add specials to a fleet that isn't Antipode equipped. Oh, enforcers. That aren't.
Let me slide back up.
I don't know. You know, there's been a lot of talk about, you know, if you can stack up, fusion. What was it? Fusion and interception system.
Mm-hmm.
Get boom really quick.
Yeah, that's definitely So I guess he's trying to breathe some life back into an old hull without having to commit a shit ton of time. So yeah, I think you're definitely right. Those two specials will kind of bring a good chunk of it back. Yeah, that's definitely the best advice I could say as well.
Yeah, if you can do both of those, that might.
I got one last question here from Grumpy Robot. Do you think Kickstarter will use this streamlined prize list style for next month's whole store as well? And which maybe it's not a. And then the question is, would it really be a whole store then?
Well, it wouldn't be a whole store, and they've said it's a whole store.
Here's 8 boats. Have fun. Bye. Fuck off. I think it's. I don't mind them directing it in certain ways. I hope to still see some expansion there to pick up. I pretty much have most of what's come out in the last few months. I haven't really missed very much. I don't know where my holes are. I don't know about you guys. Maybe a Harlock Aegis. I wouldn't mind picking up one of those. But I don't think mid to high level players' hole when it comes to blank holes is as bad as it used to be. So I don't think these whole stores need to be quite as broad as they used to be. Or is that just me being crazy?
Well, yeah. I mean, from my perspective, right? I don't have any holes that I'm missing out on, right? I mean, I think in December I picked up a Phantom Tiger and a Harlock Aegis, which were my biggest holes. So yeah, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I don't have anything not available that I don't want to build. And so here's the thing, right? If they cut down on the number of holes available in a whole store style prize list, then what that probably means is that it's Kicksai's idea that these are the holes you ought to be using going forward.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely true.
And so it might not be such a bad thing if it's not like every freaking hole in the game. And just remember that, a lot of those old holes still have build times that are out of whack.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it's a 5-day hull that's like a Zoe Stingray, you're not going to want to spend points and then spend the build time on that. I mean, Stingrays used to be fast, but a Centurion is faster. I mean, you talk about, the Centurion's not that great, but you're comparing it to the Punisher. If you compare a Centurion to the Stingray, what are you going to take?
One last follow-up there on Grumpy saying that last one he picked up was the heavy cruiser, so he has a lot to pick up in the last couple of months. I don't think we're saying that they're not going to have the last 6 months worth of holes in there for raid prizes, but I don't think we're going to see, as many low-level shit holes as we had before. I think it's just going to curate a little bit more of what's come out in the last year, which I don't think was the point of a hole store anyway. I mean, we're looking at 12 holes and limiteds. So.
Yeah, I think there's the point of, I think people are looking to I think Grumpy Robot hits it, that there's some of the recent holes that were missed would be a lot more useful than old holes that are, Great.
All right, guys. I think we hit everything that we needed to hit for tonight. Do you want to go ahead and pimp the blog before we get out of here?
bpprof.blogspot.com. I'll have a little more on the raid and what to get. Although if you're watching the show now, you probably saw what I thought you should get. I'm going to go have another think about the Citadel versus the Centurion, though, before I publish it. So that's the blog, and thanks for coming out, everybody in chat. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Panel.
I like to click the button.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good
Bye,
night.
guys.
See you
Thanks
next
everyone for
week.
showing up. Bye, guys.
Bye.